Welcome to the Holiday Impact, you guys, the podcast that reminds you that you have the power to make a difference. I'm your host, Chante Holliday, and each week we'll explore the mindset, habits, and strategies that will help you overcome obstacles and seize opportunities and create a positive impact on your life and in your business. Joining me today is Hunter. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Chante. Thank you for the call.
Anytime. So could you please just explain to my audience and stuff what you do and stuff, and also what you've done in the past, just to give them a little heads up on your platform?
All right. So, everyone, so let you know that I'm about to become a full-time trader once again for the second time in my life. So, at a part-time job, I work at the airport as a ramp agent. I only work like maybe 2 or 3 times a week because my passion comes from investments and day trading. So, where do I start from here? So, like, long story short, I used to be a pro boxer back in I believe it was 2018. Then I stopped and opened a gym, co-founded with an ex-partner, which we're not business partners anymore. Long story short, uh, I almost got into bankruptcy. The gym wasn't doing well. I invested too much money on that gym, lost a hefty amount. Went back to a 9 to 5 job. 3 4 years later, that's how I got into stock trading. So someone from an LMM company called this multi-leveling, I guess you call it a pyramid scheme. I didn't get what I really wanted, so I already learned from the basic stuff. Then I started networking with people from social media, such as Instagram and Facebook.
Right.
And this is how you call it? The game changer changed my life forever. So I networked with my friend, or he's now my mentor. He resides in Dallas, Texas. So we had a long, going conversation. And I flew over to Dallas, stayed there for 2 weeks. Spend time with him, getting to know him. He was teaching his methods to me, and it worked really well. But I knew I could do a lot better than that, because if you guys follow like horoscopes, I'm a Capricorn, so Capricorns are ambitious and we're stubborn, so I want to do a lot better than he could.
Right.
But what do you call it? Since last year, I retired my job. I thought I was gonna be a millionaire because I didn't work for like 6 months. I was making over, let's say, like 5 figures each month. I thought life was gonna be good, but then we had the crash in September. I got too greedy trading with that money. Lost about $20,000. Had to go back to a regular job. So that's why I ended up working in the airport. And then now I'm about to retire once again.
Really? Gotcha. Well, I'm proud of you with all of your success, because that's really amazing. And you've achieved so much in such a so fast, right? So can you tell us a little bit about your journey being a pro boxer to becoming a stock trader? Like, how did that even work?
No, at that time I was in debt. I needed money, and because what I told you, like, I opened the gym before,
Right.
and then I owe over like $50,000, and then it took me like about a year and a half to pay it all back.
Gotcha. So you started boxing to pay off your debt, is that right?
I started boxing just because I dropped out of university, and I just started a career over there. I had like offers and stuff, but then I didn't take these offers. So I had one point I had this sponsor, not the name, but like they sent me like a $60,000 contract to move to Florida. But I rejected the offer at that time because I was still studying, I was still in school, and I was scared to make the big moves. So I thought that school, university, get my degree, it's gonna be my life. But no, like within like 2 months, I just realized that school was never meant for me.
Really? Okay. So what were you in school for? What was the original game plan?
My original game plan was to graduate with business management.
Gotcha. Is that what you were in schools to study, business management?
I was on my way there.
Goodness. Okay. Nice. All right. So what inspired you to make that transition and stuff there? Like, why stocks and trading of everything? Just why that?
I just trying to find a way to make quick money, make a quick revenue, because
Right.
I kept seeing these Instagram. I keep seeing these social media posts. I guess you see all these gurus.
Mhm.
They're making their dreams come true. I was like, if they can do it, and think about it, right? If you're like trading in the markets, whatever you're trading stocks, forex, whatever, you probably will say 98% or 99% of the world fail. They don't do this as well as they should be. Whereas the 1%, which are you got the hedge funds, you got the banks, you got how do you call those big successful retail traders, they make it through the 1%. So as of me, I'm a Capricorn, I'm super competitive. I like this stuff. So like I just want to be that 1%er.
Gotcha. So what would your advice be to someone that actually wants to be a professional trainer, a professional boxer like you were, and they're not sure if they're good enough to get into it and stuff there? What would your advice be?
My best advice would be follow your heart. And also, as corny as it sounds, when I say follow your heart, do what makes you feel good, but make sure that you're disciplined and you're dedicated to your craft. Because if you're not putting 100% out there, then you might not be as well be on that field, right?
Right.
You're gonna be just to be the master of nothing. If you want to be great at something, you make sure you stick into that one craft.
I love that. I gotcha. So what's the biggest difference do you feel between boxing as a professional boxer and being a professional stock trader? And how have you adjusted your approach to adapt to new field?
The biggest difference, I think right now. I mean, the biggest difference is you're not getting hurt physically. Because the only thing I can think about is similarities, but in terms of differences, I mean, you're playing with your money. You're playing with people's money. That's the difference. You just gotta make sure how much you're gonna risk. It's just like a boxing too. When you're fighting, you gotta make sure how much are you willing to suffer out here. And then once you feel like, I mean, I don't want to give up. I'm not a quitter, but there's gotta be a time, There's a limit for everything. Once you're like, I'll say for example, if you're hurt, you need to have someone like stopping your corner. But it's just like with stock trading. If you lose too much money, you need to know when to stop and then relax. Take it from there.
Gotcha. Well, it seems like you're really, really driven, right? And like when you have your eye on something you want and stuff, that you go for it with everything. So what type of support system do you have? And how do you feel like they have like been there for it? Do you feel like having that strong support system like has helped you at all in your career and things of that nature?
For my circumstance, I didn't have any support system. I had to depend on myself. Like I know they were against everything. Yeah, yeah. It was just in a negative. I guess I was in a negative environment. I mean, until now, I will still say I'm in a negative environment. Not as much because since I stopped boxing, they're happy for it. My family's happy. But yeah, so like in that field, like all you have to do is focus on yourself. Like yes, that's where the self development comes from. Because if you're dependent on your support system, and let's just say one day your support system is not there anymore, who can you rely on? Yourself. And if you cannot rely on yourself, then like I said, you're gonna have long-term problems.
Gotcha. So tell me about your upbringing and stuff like that. Just your family life and things of that nature and stuff. So what actually do you feel are the pivotal moments that helped you become the person that you are today?
Let me think right now. So like looking through all this throughout this whole life, my pivotal moment changed when I entered the boxing. Because like as for me, I'm a Vietnamese descendant and I grew up in a very conservative background. So my family and I, like, they're not used to seeing me like go out and interact with different race or different nationalities. So
Gotcha. Okay. So what is it there? I wanted to ask you, what are some of the common misconceptions about stock trading and how do you address them with your clients?
stock trading, what's the best way to describe it? Give me a second. It's not as complicated as you think. Really, like all you have to do is just really buy and sell, and you just logically, like you just need to learn how to read like the markets, because it's not as crazy as it sounds. There's nothing too much of what you see. I don't know. It call it exaggerated.
Mhm.
You have to see it through logic. That's what I like to believe.
Gotcha. So what do you feel like is the best thing for someone to do that actually wants to go into or dabble in your field? Do you suggest like what are like some mentors you suggest, maybe courses or books? What do you feel like someone should do for like their first couple steps?
Especially if you're a beginner, I would highly suggest YouTube. Even YouTube helps. There's so much information on YouTube out there. I don't believe that you should need to pay for a course,
Mhm.
because like I said, the information is out there. But if you do need further guidance, yes, mentorship, paying for mentorship, yes, should be necessary. But as if paying for a course, I don't believe it. But mentorship, yeah, you do need it though, because
Do you offer one-on-one and courses? Don't you offer one-on-one or will you eventually?
I will eventually. I used to though. I used to. Yeah.
Gotcha. How much was it before when you were doing one-on-one? How much was that?
Oh, at that time, at the beginning, my journey, when I was just trying to make money, I was just trying to offer like maybe $500 a course. But
Really?
then like 3 years later, like as I got better with my own methods, doing training, I try to be different from everyone else, and I offered this one person, two people, $7,000 a course. But eventually, like I said, I'm gonna stop all that because I do want to give back, man. That's what.
Right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. You can just put me at the top of the list. I like learning things. Good. So $7,000 and stuff like that. So if someone wants to get to the position where they're able to even risk that much capital, right? Do you have any like favorite books and stuff like that that has really helped you with mindset and being able to trust yourself with that much money and moving it confidently?
Yeah, I do. For me, like, what I believe in trading, believe in investing is an algorithm. So like the whole point of my philosophy of this mindset, right, is to be as, yes, you can use an Asian stereotype, be as cheap as possible. So what I mean by being as cheap as possible is you gotta time your entries, time your positions from where you find your trade, right? And I tell myself, if I could risk $1 and I can make between $2,000 in a day, that's when you know you feel like you cheated this whole system. Personally, for me, I feel like investing, everything is a scam.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha. So if you weren't trained, what'd you
that's right.
say? Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was saying if you weren't trading right now, what do you feel like what industry would you be in?
If I wasn't trading, uh, if I wasn't trading and investing, I'll probably be in the field of finance,
Really? Okay.
or
Gotcha.
anything with computer sciences as well.
Gotcha. Okay. So like, can you share some success stories or case studies from your work as a stock trader and how you were able to help your clients achieve their financial goals?
Yeah. So I had one successful summer, I guess you call it. So in the summer of, it was June.
Mhm.
I traded. I don't know if any of you guys are watching here, investors and day traders. I was trading. I'm a US 30 specialist. So it's an indices. So I risked $300, about $325 from my entry point, and then I made up to $35,000, and then within 2 hours.
Within 2 hours?
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
I was on a live call with my friend, my trading friend, and they couldn't believe it because they thought I was crazy. We filmed it live, and I was just like, I was literally dancing, and I called my boss. At that time, I had a job. I was like, oh, I don't want to work today. I'm like, okay, that sounds great.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So then after you do something like that and stuff, so like what's the next step after that? So after you've made your client that much money and stuff, how much did they want to risk next? Or do they
Nothing.
let you decide everything?
They let me decide everything. They let me trust everything. All the time.
Oh, so how much did you risk next after that then?
No, I mean, I'm not even thinking about like making the big amount, right? For me, it's just all about how less can I risk. So if they give me like a budget to risk,
Mhm.
I would try to be as low as possible. Like
Okay.
I try to be perfect and like being close to perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I'm inspired. I didn't even know that was like a thing. I mean, you hear about it, but you don't really hear about it from someone that has actually happened to before, right? So, I mean, wow. Okay. Goodness. So, how do you stay up to date on the latest trends and changes in the stock market? And what tools or resources do you use?
So how would I stay up to par? So for you guys, all the beginners, I'm gonna help you guys all out. So I would suggest that wait every 3 months. So let's say in a year, right? We have 12 months, right?
Right.
I would suggest that you separate them into quarters. So
Mhm.
you separate them into quarters, right? Each month is 3 months. So therefore, I would like watch for March, I watch for June, I watch for September. Like once the month is right there, and then you're gonna decide whether or not that it looks potentially investable, right? Invested to hold it for the long term. And that's how I do it. That's an example.
Gotcha. So, what type of tools do you suggest?
Uh, Type of tools. I probably use, if you guys use TradingView, I use a website called TradingView, and what it does is like it's like a whole little graph. But like I said, you probably have to go on YouTube. I don't know how to explain it because it's an app that I use on the web.
Gotcha. So, do you feel like that one is beginner friendly?
It is beginner friendly. Yeah, you can even
Gotcha.
practice.
Awesome. Definitely send me the link and stuff there, please. Later and stuff after after we finish here. I would love to check it out for sure. So like how many hours a day do you actually dedicate to trading?
Hours a day. So I try to treat it like boxing at that time. So I mean, boxing at that time was 6 hours. Now training, I try to make it up to 10 to 12 hours.
Okay, gotcha. And then so how do you balance the risk and rewards of trading and like what advice do you have for someone who's starting out in the field?
So for beginners who are trying to trade, right?
Mhm.
I would say just pay attention to your capital. Tell yourself that you're not a professional. Start off small, and then once you're comfortable with a method, then you can proceed on to risking a little bit more.
Okay. Okay. And then
Right.
how
So
long do you feel like someone should like investigate, like pretty much do the numbers before they actually pull the trigger and start putting money down on something?
like I said, it all depends to each individual to see how comfortable you feel. Like if
Right.
I have ask the beginners, you can
Mhm.
start off with $500 to $1,000. Just start off something small, and then
Mhm.
like risk with like a penny. I guess not a penny, but risk a
Mhm.
penny straight. Like I said, but once you get a consistency, and that depends. Like if you could be consistent at least maybe 2 months with your wins and losses,
Mhm.
believe me, you will be fine.
I love that. Okay. So, can you talk about your future plans or goals for your stock trading business, such as new services or programs that you want to offer? I know you said in the future you're going to do one-on-one and stuff like that, but how long do you see yourself actually trading for? Do you have like an expiration mark plan?
At the moment, I don't know have an expiration date, but I do have long term plans. Like I do want to get into real estate. I want to open my own farm. Uh, yeah, I would open my own farm, and I want to be able to network with other people. And I want to travel again.
Gotcha.
Just
So, what type of people do you network with?
I like to meet up with investors. Investors. I don't know anyone in the corporate field. I would like to do that, but anyone would be fine. Like in life, I just want to seek knowledge. That's all I want.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So, how do you manage the emotional ups and downs that come with um I know you used to box, that came with boxing and stuff, and now the stock market. And how do you stay motivated and focused?
Uh, Staying motivated, focused. I would say exercise. Exercise every day. Try to exercise as much as possible. Well, like I haven't been exercising. I've been off my discipline, but exercise at least 3 to 4 times a week.
Mhm.
One, two, have have a sleeping schedule.
Right.
You know, as a me, I love the mornings because the morning I love watching the sunset, the sunrise. I just love when everything's quiet. You have your whole focus. Three, have um have a morning routine.
Mm.
So when I say morning routine, for me that was the game changer. Having a morning routine, it was like you wake up, just you could lie in bed just for a little bit, but make sure, I mean, obviously don't fall asleep. Just stay there, take a deep breath, think about your plans, just go out, brush your teeth, have your decent coffee, breakfast, breathe again, think about your plans, and then I would get on my computer, start like reviewing a bit of my notes, and I am as like every day I take notes right on my day trading. So like what I do is like I watch my mistakes every single day. I rewrite that stuff, rewrite it again because like the way I study, right? So like if you think about school, like the way I study is like some reason I can't memorize everything on top of my head. So what I do is I have to rewrite things in a loose leaf in a scrap of paper. I'll rewrite it over and over again so I can drill into my head. Yeah.
Okay. And you do that every day?
Every day.
That's crazy. That's awesome though. I used to have to do the exact same thing. I'm very similar to what I do now, even with the podcast and stuff there when I'm talking to others. I usually end up having to write, like I have to write things down in order for me to remember what I want to say next and stuff there sometimes. Especially if it's not something that's like, already planned, right, to the script kind of thing. So how did you become so disciplined? Because no one just wakes up and automatically has a morning routine or discipline or consistency. So how? Like what worked for you?
You need to have a goal. You need to have a goal. Like you gotta wake yourself every day. You tell yourself what you're living for. If you feel like you're just living for nothing, you're just walking through day by day, you're never gonna be motivated. And people don't like that. That's all I have to say. People will gonna feel your energy. It just gives me like a purpose, a sense of purpose of life.
Okay.
I know it sounds a bit too far, but like that's all my morning routine. That's how I think about every single day. Oh,
Right.
I also put like a lot of quotes up on my wall.
Really? Okay. Are they like on poster form or is it just like you writing it down?
Poster form. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right on my ceiling.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. No, I actually really, really like that and stuff there. So for someone that keeps falling out of their discipline, right? If they're like looking for their purpose, let's say someone's watching and they haven't found that main goal yet, right? And stuff there that kind of pushes them and lights that fire to get up in the morning. What type of advice would you give to them?
One, it's not the end of the world, so like you could keep exploring. I would just say explore as many fields as possible. You don't know what you're gonna like out there. You don't know what's gonna like motivate you, right? It could be like a little, I don't know, a little piece of paper that you found and with a note, and then one day you gotta tell yourself, "Oh, God gave me this message. Oh, who knows? I could change your life maybe forever." Just be optimistic, be positive, but just make sure that you're always exploring, always be curious, and then one way to another, you can open doors for yourself.
Gotcha. So how has it been? How did you transition from not having the biggest support system to surrounding yourself with positive people?
Oh, that's hard. That's hard. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Now I think about it, I don't even know how I went through that. The self-aware books, I think that helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Self-aware, being the boxing gym really helped me a lot. Just being outside when I can't be at home, I needed like some guidance out there. Just being outside, sometimes even talking about problems, it does help a lot. It's kind of for me it's like a therapy.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Because it seems like you have a really good friend network right now, right? Like I look at your page, you always seem level-headed, optimistic, positive, and things of that nature. When I read that you were a pro boxer and stuff there, I thought that was even more inspiring. And so I'm like, okay, how do you even decide who your group is, right? So like, what advice would you give to someone that's trying to remove the negativity out of their life, all the toxic people, toxic situations, like all the fun stuff, right?
My advice is, if you want to get rid of these people, just do it, because it's perfect. It's the best thing at this moment is not to be alone, but just to get out of that stuff, or just be alone. Is learn to spend time with yourself. Because once you're able to adapt how to spend time with yourself, that people are gonna like feel your energy. People are willing to talk to you, right? People are willing to like interact. And I mean, for me, that's how it works.
Right. Gotcha. And so do you like meditate and things like that to keep centered?
I do meditate. I don't know how I exactly meditate, but I do have like is meditation like what? I guess I'm assuming, right? You close
They
your
have
eyes.
so many different kinds.
I guess you could say I do meditate. I guess you could say that, because I do close my eyes. I take a deep breath. I try to have like a positive imagination. So I guess I assume that's meditation.
Gotcha. Do you feel like affirmations help you?
Oh, definitely does. It definitely does.
Really? Okay. And stuff there. So how do affirmations benefit you the most, like in your career, in your life so far?
So far, like it keeps me disciplined. It keeps me disciplined because if I don't tell myself I'm gonna do it, and then I break its promise from my affirmation, then I'm breaking my own rule, my own code of conduct.
Right. Gotcha. And stuff there. So you kind of use it to help you like stay accountable.
Yes.
Gotcha. Do you have like accountability partners and things like that now? Like, have you ever had that before? With trading, with boxing, just with life, anything like that?
I used to have that, not anymore. I'm just accountable for myself.
Gotcha. Cool beans. Awesome. No, I absolutely love that. And then, of course, with anyone watching and stuff like that right now, did you want to have any closing words for the audience there?
Any closing words? I want to let you guys know that if you guys are stuck in a dark place, or if you're in a dark time, I hope all you guys are gonna make it. All right. Just make sure you don't give up on what you're doing. You find a craft. Don't let any distractions get in your way. All right. If you're gonna be successful, you want to be the best. Don't let anything get in your way.
I love that. Cool beans. And if anyone watching wants to follow you, learn from you, be inspired from you on your social media platforms, where can they best find you?
So, guys, can follow me on Instagram at Hunter Ace FX. You can follow me on what else I have? Facebook, Hunter Ace. And at the moment, that's all I have.
Awesome sauce. Do you do Instagram and TikTok and stuff?
I'm beginning TikTok. I'm still trying to learn how to play with the algorithm. Because for how a lot, I don't make up time, but I'm trying to make time.
It's a mixed bag, like TikTok and stuff. There's
It's
a
fun,
lot of
really fun,
yeah.
but it's just very consuming.
It is. And it's like, what is it? You scroll, like you'll tell yourself, I'm just gonna watch like one or two videos. And then like 2 hours will go by and you're like, oh no. Oh no. So
I went viral on one of my videos. It was on my trading videos. Like that's the one I told you about making 35K.
right.
That one.
That
Yeah.
means you need to be teaching. It's a sign. And you should have me and my audience as your first students because why not? And stuff there. So no, I think that would be absolutely amazing. So definitely like, mull it over, but we're here. We're open to learn. I know I'm speaking for myself. I know my mentees will want to learn. They love extra money. So absolutely.
Who doesn't love extra money?
I don't know. But no one I know. But no, absolutely. So just let me know and stuff there when you start branching out to. But I can actually tell you about my experience with TikTok real quick before I close. I basically did an experiment with TikTok. Whenever I go into something or I'm like really trying to dedicate my time to a platform, I study it. I study it the same way I used to do a history class in English. I take 1,000 notes. I look at who's dominating, who's doing really well. And I'm like, okay, why are they doing really well though? Right. And then I try to just recreate what's already working. So I wanted to see at first how many followers can I get, how fast. So I discovered how to get 5,000 organic followers, no ads, in about a little less than 2 weeks. I was exhausted. I would not recommend that strategy. Just not if you're like doing it for business, because you're not necessarily doing it to a target audience, right? Eventually my tribe found me, which is so cool, but you're kind of going to have a mixed bag of everyone at that point. And it's kind of hard to say, okay, now I can teach you guys about my cooking class or about my trading or any. It's hard to niche it down after that. It's not impossible, it's harder. But yeah, no, I found it really, really helpful to take workshops that you do, because I know you're getting really into YouTube as well, right? At least I think so. Did you just start your YouTube?
No, I'm still trying to perfect it. Yeah, I still have some niches to work on before
Oh, gotcha. Oh, well, yeah, no worries. But yeah, no, I really found it popular when you do like workshops and stuff, and then you just kind of chop them all up and then just use those reels and like TikTok. And if you take a trending sound and put it in the background and put the music all the way down, it'll pick it up on the algorithm. And then you just use like four or five hashtags that are doing really well and a really elongated caption that you can totally just push out using Chat GPT or something. No one's got to write a book anymore. But yeah, at one point I was spending way too much time on TikTok. So yay, mini course on TikTok. But
Sorry to interrupt you, but this is what I love what you said about you've been studying all day. Like this is what for me, like on my I guess I see my hashtag Project Ace, Diaries of Project Ace. That's what my whole project is all about. Just studying all day, just finding the perfect moment. If I could cheat this whole system, right? If I could risk like $100 to make whatever, like just like I said, $100 to $2,000 in an hour or two. For me, that's when you know you've been in that whole dark place of you've just been studying all day, finding the whole method and everything just to make your life easier.
right, exactly. So I love approaching things with some sort of strategy and stuff there. I hate throwing things at the wall and just praying that it works if I don't have to, or going into something blind.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just like a pet peeve. In my younger days, I was like giddy and excited, just being like, if it works, it works. But now I'm like 31 this year, and I'm like, no, I want it to just work. so so I totally understand that you're kind of looking at all the platforms. I thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you.
No, appreciate you. Thank you for taking your time waiting for me because I was late for that call. So thank you again.
It's cool. I told you it's stuff there. I'm just like, my schedule is rather chill. I know that life happens. And so I'm appreciative of you just making time to be on my show. So thank you. And you guys watching, I really, really appreciate you joining us for this episode of the Holiday Impact. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.